What if Japan never attacked Pearl Harbor? Wait, don't scroll yet. Because this single moment might be the one that shaped the entire modern world as we know it. Imagine a world where the United States never entered World War II when it did. No atomic bomb, no American troops storming the beaches of Normandy, no superpower America rising from the ashes of war. Just think about that for a second. In 1941, Japan's surprise attack on Pearl Harbor dragged the United States into a war it had been trying to avoid. But what if that attack never happened? What if Japan decided to focus only on its conquest of Southeast Asia, instead of provoking the US? It sounds small, but it could have changed everything. Without Pearl Harbor, the US public might have stayed firmly isolationist. President Roosevelt had promised to keep America out of foreign wars, and without that shocking attack, he might have been forced to keep that promise. In that timeline, the war in Europe continues to rage. Britain stands battered and alone. Hitler still dreams of conquering the continent. Without American support, the Soviet Union would have faced Nazi Germany largely by itself. Yes, the Soviets might still have turned the tide eventually, but at what cost? Millions more could have died. Maybe Berlin never falls to the Red Army. Maybe Europe remains divided in a very different way. Meanwhile, Japan continues expanding across Asia, taking control of the Philippines, Indonesia, and India's trade routes. Without the US Navy standing in the way, the Pacific might have become Japan's empire. Imagine a world map dominated by Axis powers stretching from Berlin to Tokyo, unstoppable, at least for a time. And here's the twist. Without the war, the US economy might never have recovered as fast from the Great Depression. The war effort turned America into an industrial powerhouse. No war, no massive production boom, no post-war economic dominance. That means no Marshall Plan, no NATO, no global American century. The US could have remained a regional power, strong, but not the center of the world order. Even technology would have looked different. The atomic bomb was developed because of the race against Nazi Germany. Without that pressure, maybe nuclear weapons wouldn't exist, or at least not yet. That means no Hiroshima, no Nagasaki, and maybe even a completely different Cold War, if one ever happened at all. So what kind of world would we be living in today? Maybe one where Europe remained a collection of exhausted empires. Maybe Japan became the dominant power in Asia for decades longer. Or maybe, just maybe, another massive conflict would have erupted later, one even deadlier than World War II, when nuclear weapons finally entered the scene. History turns on strange hinges, and sometimes the moments we see as inevitable were actually accidents of fear, pride, or miscalculation. Pearl Harbor wasn't just an attack, it was a trigger that reshaped humanity's future. But I'm curious, what do you think would have happened if Japan never attacked Pearl Harbor? Would the US still have entered the war eventually? Or would the world today look completely unrecognizable? Share your thoughts in the comments below.